Okay, so how many times have we heard? To do a rear cross, we have to get behind the dog. One of the puzzles is often as we try to cut behind the dog, we end up encroaching on the dog's space and pushing the dog off the jump we're trying to rear cross. Often, a suggested remedy is to decelerate and get behind the dog. The problem with that becomes having to then stop and start, and that's more difficult for the handler. We can use orientation as a substitute for acceleration and deceleration. So in this case, as the handler approaches the jump that is before the rear cross, this jump, you'll notice that the handler's orientation will be focused on this jump as the team approaches the jump. With the handler's orientation focused on this jump, that gives the dog permission and space to come across the jump and arc inward toward the next jump. So again, you can see the handler has an orientation toward the jump. You can see the dog is already starting to lean into the right to cut inward toward the next jump. We're going to have the dog then take the lead around this corner. So as the handler's orientation is here, the dog, as it jumps and clears the jump, will start to pull the orientation of the handler around. That way the dog has room to go ahead toward the jump where we're crossing, and as the handler's orientation comes around with the dog, that will give the handler room to cut behind the dog. And here you see the dog has already committed to coming into the jump, allowing the handler to cut behind the dog to show the dog the impending rear cross.
There you go. Easy.
Again, this is all created instead of using acceleration and deceleration by using orientation to substitute for them. But the orientation of the handler toward this jump is giving the dog permission and room to arc inward toward the rear cross jump, allowing the handler to converge and cut behind the dog more readily, showing the dog in a timely manner the impending rear cross and turn.